Hi, Yvette Basica here. Monday morning, January 23rd, 2023. Here's a recap on what's happened in the last month and a half. What just happened right now was I was in the hospital for a month and a half, and I just got home yesterday, and I went to my parents' house. My mom said I could stay here to rest a little bit before I have my conservatorship hearing, which is next month. And so I had to beg her to let me come home from the psych ward, and I'll explain that in a minute. And last night I fell asleep and like a normal person at night, and my parents had broken in and put a drug or all over me, and put it on my phone. And then I got up at 3:30 in the morning and went to the bathroom and stayed up until today. And today I haven't even used the bathroom or anything all day because I was really tired. I couldn't make it, and I was also just, a little nervous about what my parents were going to do to me. And so I've been staying in my room all day. And I was just I'm really exhausted from the hospital. So couldn't make it out of the house. Told my mom I was going to go to the store today, and I just couldn't make it. I was just too tired, and she had threatened me yesterday and today, and she said a lot of verbal threats for not letting me rest for 2 days. I got home last night at really late at night, so I just needed the weekend to just recoup. And she wouldn't let me. I had to threaten her. And tonight, I wasn't gonna do anything. I was just gonna wait just to do more research and stuff. And I had fallen asleep about an hour ago. It's now midnight in the morning on 2023, and I literally have a gunk all over me again. You can tell that there's white stuff from residue on me, and I literally have it on me. My brother had called me back about a couple hours ago because I called him today, and he didn't even care about me being abused in the hospital. He didn't care to call me when I was in the hospital. He didn't care to check up on me. He didn't care to call me when I got home. Nothing. He's like an evil fucking human being. And he called me tonight, and what happens with my stalkers is they can put something when you open up the phone or when you open up links on emails or links on the internet. So it's like a you can put it's like a poison type thing. So when you click it, it can actually I don't know what it does, but it's like a electricity type thing, or like a poison that comes out. And I don't really know how to describe it because I don't know what they actually do. I just know what I feel. And so my brother did it to me tonight. And it was because I had called my really good friend in Colorado, and I was telling him about how painful my hospital experience was. And I was just talking about, like, how horrible it is to be back at my parents' house, to constantly get, like, my mom threatening me again, and the attacks, and just, you know, I've been doing this for 7 years every day. It's a really long time, and, you know, Jesus Christ didn't um didn't get this abuse. He didn't get 7 years of abuse every single day. I mean, no one has. Um anyway, so um so what happened about a month and a half ago was the cops came to my door because I wrote text messages um saying saying I had a suicide note, and cops can't illegally read your text messages, and I never said I had a suicide note, and that was false. There was an expression I made about something like I would rather die than eat the poisoned food or something like that, but I didn't even remember writing it, and it was just an expression. I worked at a suicide hotline for 2 years before in the mental health field as a counselor, and you can't take someone away if they write a expression text messages. The only way you could take someone away to the psych ward is if they have a severe plan and you've talked to them about it and they're about to do it within the next hour. That's the only way you can take someone away. You can't, like, if they say, like, oh, I want to do this, I don't feel well, like, something, I'm having these thoughts. You can't take someone away if they have thoughts, because people can have thoughts like that all day long, and everybody would be in the psych ward. That doesn't make any sense. And I did it for 2 years, and I was at the D.D. Hirsch Culver City office, and I know the rules and the protocol and the laws of California and every single state in the United States, and you can't do that. And so they said I wasn't eating for 7 days, and I still was eating in the house, but I didn't go to the grocery store for maybe like 3 to 4 days. And, like, I'm sorry, but people do detoxes all the time. And, like, when I was in my 20s, I detoxed constantly in order to clean out my system, and no one was sending me to the psych ward then. So you can't do that. And so then I went, and I went to Harbor UCLA, and what had happened was they wouldn't let me make a phone call. They wouldn't transfer me to another hospital, and I was strapped down and on the gurney of the ambulance, and they strapped me down in a bed. They wouldn't let me make a phone call, and I had to beg them to get something to drink or anything because I was sitting in the hallway for like 7 hours straight. While I was sitting in the hallway, I got attacked by about 50 different people. So they threw poison and drugs on my face and my head for about 7 hours straight. Then they strapped me down, and they did it right in front of me. They didn't hide it. They strapped me down, and they injected me against my will because I asked for a phone call. And then they gave me an IV, and they put drugs in the needle, and then they put heavy drugs in the IV. And they did an EKG that had something on it. When they did it they put it all over my body, and I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for any of this. And then they sent me to the psych ER. I was there for a couple days, and it was filthy, disgusting. They wouldn't let me have shoes on the floor, so I had to walk around with basically like urine and feces on my feet. and dirt everywhere. They planted poison and drugs in the bathroom everywhere, so I couldn't use it. And they put it all over my bed when I would leave, and they put it in my food. They put drugs in my food, and they forced me to take experimental drugs while I was there. Then I threatened to call Adult Protective Services, and I had them on the phone. And they shipped me away to Del Amo Hospital because I said that's where I wanted to go. So I stayed at Del Amo Hospital for like a month, and they literally beat the living shit out of me. So they're really fast and sneaky. So if you've know about my videos before, I have a microchip in my head from when they had implanted me a long time ago. And every thought that I have, so if I say, I don't know, if I'm not feeling well, or if I say really anything at all, if it's negative in any way, they'll increase the torture. So if I say, God, that poison really hurt me, what they'll do is they'll go and increase the torture of the poison. Or if I say, oh, that drug really hurt me, what they'll do is they'll like increase it, and then they'll come into my room and they'll throw it on me, or they'll gas me with it, or they'll put it all over my sheets on my bed, and they'll physically harm me. I believe I was molested there at night when I would sleep, and it started to happen towards the end, because I found stuff on my vagina. I'm not positive if that happened while I was there, but I'm pretty sure it happened while I would sleep at night. And they wouldn't stop. It was all day long, from early in the morning at like 7 a.m. till like 11:30 at night, and it was crazy. It's all over the cameras in the hallways, and they wouldn't let me have the tapes of the hallways, and they wouldn't let police to come in and do anything. And every time that I called the police, or they blocked my 911 calls on the payphone, so I couldn't call 911. I called the Torrance police station, and they basically hung up the phone on me. Every time I would call, they would block the phone lines, and they would say I'm not allowed to call the police. And I tried calling Adult Protective Services, and they said, I'm sorry, you're in the hospital, we can't help you, even though they're supposed to. So they lied to me. And then I called anyone that I can think of that would be able to get me out and to help me from abuse, and nobody would. And my mom just said, oh, you're making it up. No one's doing this to you. I don't believe you. I'm not getting you out of there. And it's because she allowed it to happen. She knew it was happening because she does it to me herself. So why would she want to get caught? So anyway, so they put drugs in my food, water, coffee, tea, vending machine food, snacks, clothes packages, and then my food trays. So after a while, I said I wasn't going to eat anymore, and I wasn't going to take their medicine because they used experimental drugs on me every night. And I said I wasn't going to take it anymore. And I literally couldn't tolerate it. So they just kept me there, and I said I wanted to go to the ER, and I went to the ER, and I had they finally let me go there, Torrance Memorial, and I had a really bad feeling that they were going to harm me, just like what UCLA did. So I came back to Del Amo that same day, and I found out that they were going to give me drugged IVs when I got there. So I was pretty scared about that. All right, say it hurts. So I was pretty scared about that. So I didn't know what they were going to do to me. And so I'm glad I came back because they could have done, what UCLA did to me. So I stayed there for another little while, and they kept ambushing me from leaving. And within the last 3 days of being there, they increased their torture on me like 110%. It was like all day long, really, really fast, coming into my room, throwing bombs at me through my door when they would open up my door, throwing it at me when I would walk around the hallways. I had every single client beat me up. They ambushed me constantly for like a really long time, and I would say, stop abusing me, stop beating me up, this is abuse. And they say, oh, you're paranoid, we're not doing anything to you. And they did it like they didn't hide it. So it was like picture this, somebody having a gun coming up to you with the gun right in front of you, and you saying, please don't shoot me, you have a gun. And they would say, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't have anything in front of me, I'm not shooting you. And then they shoot you in the leg or wherever they want. Like, that's kind of what happened. It doesn't make any sense. So my parents do the exact same thing to me. They do it right in front of me, and they say, I don't know what you're talking about. And I've had a doctor's note to prove the drugs in my system from a while ago, and I have pictures of the stuff all over me, and it still doesn't matter. I have my conservatorship hearing in February because I've been on it for a year, and my lawyer postponed it twice. And the only reason she postponed it was so that I would go back to the psych ward twice within a year. She said my lawyer got sick, or my mom's lawyer got a family emergency, so they postponed it like almost 2 months. Then she postponed it and said she had COVID again, and that was a couple days before they took me to the psych ward. And her name is Natalie Parisky at the public defender's office, and she did it on fucking purpose. And I know this because that's what they do out there. Every public defender I have had has refused to call me back, and they just let me just get beat up wherever I'm at. They never help me in the hospital. They never come down to the hospital to get me to safety. None of it happens. I asked Natalie, I said, I need help with my conservator, and she said, well, you're going to have to find somebody else to help you because I can't do that. And it's like, did everybody not follow the Britney Spears movement of what her dad did to her? I'm sorry, but your lawyer, your conservator lawyer, is supposed to help you during that. You don't find some random person on the street to help you. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, I just wanted to share this tonight so that, if I end up like dying within the next, month or so because of their torture on me, because you never know what could happen. I've been saying this for 7 years. I don't know what they're going to give me, and I don't know what's going to happen. And, there's been proof all over YouTube and all over videos about this. And I know people, watch my videos. So I know I'm not alone. I just really can't believe that my own family would do this to me. And my own brother would let his sister get beat up and then lie about it and say I don't know what you're talking about. And I literally was like ambushed, over the weekend and over the last month and a half, and like no one's doing anything about it. My cousins don't care. My aunts and uncles don't care. They just like let me get ambushed. And, I don't understand why they believe the devil. And I don't understand why they would believe like liars that say I don't know what you're talking about when there's physical evidence. And like I've never in my life have reported anything like this. I don't have a mental illness as a child. I didn't have a mental illness as an adult. None of this happened out of the blue. I've never been to a psych ward before all of this started. I've never had to live like this ever. I had a decent life before this, and I didn't know I was a target before this. So I was oblivious to everything, and I still managed to live a decent life. And I don't understand why why someone would ambush one person. There's like so fucking many of them. Every time I make my phone calls or go to a place of business, they're waiting for me. Not every place of business, because like if it's a private owned business, usually the owner's there, so it's okay. But like if I go to like a government office, or if I go to certain places where they know where I'm going and they track my phone, they're usually right in front. And so they'll usually end up blocking me. I'm just gonna, say my websites again. It's mentalrights.com, protectfemale.com, and then my phone number is 310-935-8797. My Instagram account is YVETTEBASICA3. And that's if the best way is to post on there on one of my pictures. I won't get direct messages, and I probably won't get a phone call or a text messages or anything like that. So that's the best way to get a hold of me. And then you have to check if the post went through every single day, because what Instagram does is they delete my posts. They've done it before. Okay, that's about it. It's been like over 20 minutes. If anybody knows of work or anything like that, that would be really helpful for right now, because I get blocked from getting work. Or if anybody, knows of anybody that you think that could help, like a medical doctor or anything like that, because I've gotten blocked from making my doctor's appointments. That would really help. Okay.